What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. If you give me the HKO special, hit the like, subscribe, and comment. All right, so before we're going to get into the 4B movement, but I have a video from Asian Boss. Shout out to Asian Boss, who's based in South Korea. And of course, I'm based here in South Korea. So we'll just watch a few minutes of this. So listen in on what the infamous 4B movement is. So here we go.
From the female perspective,
Mm,
why women might not necessarily want to get married.
mm,
Maybe you can give me an overview of what exactly is this 4B movement.
All right. Well, P is
Mm.
in Korean, and it's actually a Chinese character
Okay,
for saying not to do.
right.
So 4B means females do not want to have sex. They
Mhm.
do not want to date Korean men. They do not want to marry, and
Mhm.
they do not want to give birth.
Okay.
4B women is what some of the minorities in the female group think about
Would
giving.
you characterize them as possibly radical feminist
Yes,
groups?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So why do you think that particular group ideology or
Mm,
these catchphrase
mm,
became this international thing where even
mm,
BBC and CNN, they're
mm,
only talking about, oh, this is because of 4B movements.
mm,
But maybe we can get into this a little bit because
mhm,
you talk about radical feminists.
mm.
Are there a lot of them in Korea, or is this like a recent thing, or it has been a bit of a trending thing, but now it's kind of died down? What's going on?
All right. Well, I think we need to first note that this 4B movement
Mm.
it's not a new thing. I know that New York Times and other foreign media outlets have been paying attention to this movement, and I think it's because it's really catchy and
Yeah.
it's quite very much related to the low fertility rate.
Mhm.
But like I said before, it's not a general mainstream idea. Most of the females they do not want to get married or give birth because of many other reasons.
Mhm.
For example, like unaffordable house prices
Yep.
and the child care that they need to undertake even when they are working.
Mhm.
Those are the main reasons why they do not want to give birth. But it's not like they do not want to date or they do not want to have sex, with
Mhm.
guys. So it's a little bit different. We need to take a look at it in a different way.
Sure.
And 4B movement is not a new phenomenon. I think this originally was from the Gangnam Station stabbing incident, the
Oh, okay.
tragedy that
Maybe
happened.
maybe for people who don't know what
Hmm.
happened there,
Hmm.
what maybe
Mm,
give me a brief
right.
overview of what
Mm.
happened.
So it was a tragedy that happened in 2016,
Mhm.
and this guy who was a stranger to the victim, he was just standing nearby the public bathroom at
Really?
Gangnam Station,
Okay.
and when this young woman came in, he just stabbed her to death.
So he had a knife with him,
Yeah, as far as I know,
as a
it was just
concealed knife type of thing. So he was just waiting for his perfect victim, so to
yeah,
speak.
perfect woman, I
Yeah.
guess.
Right.
And though the police at that time just considered this as an accidental uh,
Like a
accident or a random, yeah.
mass stabbing.
Hmm.
Was it a mass stabbing or just one victim?
One victim,
Okay, one
one
victim.
victim.
Right.
But this became a watershed moment for all the young women in their 20s and 30s to express their fear and anger toward this tragedy because I think they
So
thought
they
of this
caught
event.
him,
They caught him.
and what did he say was the reason why he killed
Hmm.
this young lady?
Hmm. Because he had too much experience of being belittled by women. He
Wow.
had
Okay.
this grudge
Hmm.
against women.
I mean, it sounds like he definitely had some mental
Yeah,
issues.
he did had
Right.
mental disorder, but the main issue of this tragedy is not that he was mentally ill.
Mm.
The females in their 20s and 30s they thought this was very important issue because it showed the misogyny that is prevalent in the society right, at that time. From that moment, the word feminism got popular
Right.
and young women they began to encourage other females
Mm.
not to give in to the society's traditional norms,
Right.
and there was even the movement called corset free movement afterwards, And even this radical online community called Megalia was opened up after this tragedy. So
What's
basically,
the corset-free movement, by the way?
oh, so basically, there are some of the traditional, I don't know, perspectives that are upon women, how they need to be pretty, how they need to
Dress a certain way.
dress a certain way, and how they need to do their makeup. And since that tragedy, this kind of a trend, I say.
Okay, so you have a little explanation there, just in general of the 4B movement. So here we go. As an American in South Korea, a lot of people in not a lot of like TikTokers or YouTubers are all sitting here going, "Oh, let's make this a movement over here." No, the reason is she explained is just high cost of housing. So if you know anything about housing, it's unaffordable. Okay, it's easy and for it's easy to rent, but to own a house is extremely unaffordable. And then she's talking back to 2016 where there was a stabbing. But here's the thing, it's one of the safest countries here in the world. And like I could leave my laptop and everything and it's not going to get taken here. So it's not, or, it's not a regular occurrence because now to most Koreans, they're not used to like, oh my God, tragedy in this. Where I'm an American, we're used to that. I'm used to like looking over my shoulder, just in general, just to see, okay, is it safe? Here, it's just very safe, you know, majority wise. It's not, you know, all that, like there's a stabbing every day. No, it's not. So just wanted to put that in, yeah, and I see all these videos about 4B movement, 4B movement. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go to we need to be independent. We have to do it. Let me put it this way: 50 million people here in South Korea. Okay, maybe there's a membership of that group, maybe around 15,000 to 50,000, at most 100. It's a small minority, a very small minority that the feminist movement, exists. And I've lived in Korea since 2015, and I have not seen the feminist movement like march on the street. And I don't live in Seoul, but I go to Seoul, and yeah, I see protests, but I don't see a lot of feminist protests running around as much. So, and most of the Korean women, that I interact with, they want to eventually get married. It's just that everything is just so expensive. It's out. It's like really out of the price range. Like we're getting priced out. But for me as an expat, it's easy to rent. It's easy to fly places like, Thailand, Philippines, and all these other places. So yeah, and for most, Korean guys, they're, average Korean guys, trying to make it, you know. So that's what really the problem is. It's not, let's do this 4B and let's, not do this because, we have all this, like the raging feminists in the United States. And I just came back from the United States. So, geez, I'm happy to be back in more, civilized country because a lot of stuff in the U.S. and of course, it's based where you live. Like I was in California. Geez, yeah, it's crazy. But back here in, Korea, it has its problems. And yeah, the fertility rate is 0.68 or 0.72 according to her. Yeah, we just have so many of these problems where back in the 60s, it was pretty much, it was 6 kids per Korean woman. But back then, it was the economics was, coming on up. Actually, the Philippines had a better GDP than South Korea did. But now, we're just getting priced out, and that's what's happening right now. So that's where, the problem is. It's just expense, 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 and then childcare. It's just so expensive. And yeah, the government's trying to do something about it, but I don't know. It might be beyond repair. But this 4B movement, that has really nothing to do with South Korea. But once again, there's some of you want to make it mainstream in the United States. And if you do, you're asking for problems, serious problems. But it's not like a big, huge, huge problem here in Korea. It's a small minority that has that problem. So yeah. All right. If you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And one more thing, I'll post a video on the link so you guys can watch the whole video. All right. So wherever you are, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video.